Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Day 33 of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Over the past 24 hours, the Russians have shelled the Kharkiv region with artillery mortars and multi-barrel rocket launchers using cluster munitions. In the first month of fighting, the Russian forces have caused damage to Ukraine's infrastructure valued at more than $60 billion. Tomorrow morning, another round of peace negotiations begins in Turkey.
This could be a significant turn in the Ukraine-Russia talks to end the conflict. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has outlined peace terms by which Kiev would give up its territorial claims over the Donbass region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has indicated Russian conditions that could be accepted by Kiev. He stresses that his goal is to achieve peace and restore normal life in the country. Security guarantees and neutrality. The status of our state is non-nuclear. This is the most important point for us. This was the main point for the Russian Federation, and as far as I remember, this was the main point. Zelensky seeks peace not only on paper, as with the 1994 Budapest Memorandum, when Russia, the United Kingdom and the United States guaranteed Ukraine's security in exchange for Kiev giving up its nuclear weapons. We will not sit at the table if we talk about some kind of denazification, demilitarization. I simply do not understand such things. I understand that it is impossible to completely oust Russia from Ukrainian territory. I understand this, which is why I am talking about a compromise. Let's go back to where it all started and try to solve the Donbass issue. At the moment, fighting is continuing northwest of Kiev, Irpin, Bucha, Hostomel, and in towns on the border of the Kiev and Zhytomyr regions. In the regions to the north and east of Ukraine, there are confrontations between troops near major cities such as Chernihiv, Donbass, and Kherson. The Russians are not giving up carrying out airstrikes, including on civilian targets. Last night, the area around Kharkiv was bombed. On the other hand, the day before yesterday, bombs fell at dawn on a school in the city, say residents who are now trying to clean up after the raid. Residents of the city who lost their homes as a result of the earlier shelling are hiding there. It was about 4:30 in the morning. We were at the school. We spent the night at the school, and we heard explosions nearby. 4 impacts, and then a fifth one hit us. It exploded literally 15 meters from where I was, on the first floor, and the greetings from the kind Russians reached the third floor. According to Ukraine, the estimated Russian losses are some 17,000 dead soldiers, 586 tanks, 1,694 armoured vehicles, and 121 aircraft. In turn, Russia has organised the bombing of fuel depots in Lutsk, about 100 kilometres from the Polish border. Humanitarian corridors continue to be blocked by the Russians, for example near Mariupol. The mayor of the city reported that some 160,000 civilians are on the brink of a humanitarian disaster. United States President Joe Biden visited Poland on Friday and Saturday. In his speech, he stressed the unity of the Western world and NATO towards the situation in Ukraine. Referring to Russia, he spoke of its strategic failure. A meeting of the National Security Council, convened by President Andrzej Duda, was held in Warsaw. The head of state gave an update on the talk held within NATO and US President Joe Biden. I outlined how the NATO summit went, what was said and what demands were made. Of course, the meeting was held in closed session. In connection with the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the ruling coalition party, Solidarna Polska, will submit a motion to change Poland's energy policy by 2040. The aim will be to put more emphasis on the development of state-of-the-art technologies based on coal energy. No coal-fired capacity should be switched off in any way, and this was not the case until recently. There are plans to switch off coal-fired capacity in 2025. This is impossible, and this is a question of Poland's raison d'etre and energy security. All the more so, ladies and gentlemen, that there will be a shortage of gas throughout the Union. The former Minister of National Defence, Antony Macierewicz, points out that action to support Ukraine must still be taken. Support it through humanitarian aid as well as military support. Providing them with this equipment is very important. Another issue is the imposition of sanctions on Russia. It is a matter of forcing Germany and France to give up Russian oil and gas. Tomorrow, negotiations between Ukraine and Russia begin in Turkey.
President Andrzej Duda and his wife, Agata Kornhauser Duda, met at the Belvedere Palace with His Holiness Bartholomew I, Archbishop of Constantinople, New Rome, and Ecumenical Patriarch. The President expressed his thanks for speaking the truth about the war in Ukraine. The whole world is watching as Poland opens its borders and hearts to the refugees, said Bartholomew.
Jakże wymowne jest to, że
It is very meaningful that His Holiness has accepted our invitation to come to Poland at this difficult time for our neighbours, our brothers from Ukraine, who are today defending their homeland against Russian aggression. We are touched that His Holiness, like a weary pilgrim, is coming to bless these 2,300,000 refugees from Ukraine in order to comfort them, bless them and pray with them for their homeland.
Jego Świątobliwość
My exclusive focus these days is to stand in solidarity and prayer with the millions of refugees who have been forcibly displaced by the ongoing unjustified and unjustifiable aggression, as well as the horrendous and costly violence caused by Russia.
Senate Speaker Thomas Grodzki tweeted a video addressed to the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine in which he apologised that some companies shamefully continue to operate in Russia, that thousands of lorries still go through Poland to Belarus, and that still the government imports Russian coal and fails to freeze the assets of Russian oligarchs. Law and Justice senators want to recall the speaker.
I must apologise to you for the fact that some companies shamefully continue to operate in Russia, that thousands of lorries continue to go through Poland to Belarus and beyond, that the government continues to import Russian coal and is unable to freeze the assets of Russian oligarchs. Thus, with unacceptable hypocrisy, we continue, even against our intentions, to finance a criminal regime that uses the money it acquires to murder innocent people. This statement is deceitful, untrue and manipulative. It is in line with Russian propaganda, which is now focusing in particular on dividing the Polish nation from the Ukrainian nation, and the Ukrainian authorities from the Polish authorities. We cannot allow this to happen. In my view, this statement, in the context of the current war and the visit by the President of the United States, is scandalous and amounts to high treason. On Thursday, the Law and Justice Senate Club will file a motion to dismiss Senate Speaker Thomas Grodzki.
The Polish army will be increased to 300,000 soldiers. The Minister of National Defence, Mariusz Błaszczak, spoke at a conference entitled Act on the Defence of the Homeland, the New Strength of the Polish Army. He spoke about the necessity to strengthen the army and increase its numbers. A strong Polish army is a guarantee of homeland security, the minister said.
The adoption of the Bill on the Defence of the Homeland is a very important event, but in fact it is only the beginning of the process of strengthening the Polish armed forces. The Act is a very important foundation for further development. From next year, at least 3% of GDP will be spent on defence, and the fund for supporting the armed forces is a financial mechanism which will enable the acceleration of the process of modernisation of the Polish army. The Act is also a foundation on which we will increase the numbers of the Polish army. We want a Polish army armed with the most modern equipment, and we will increase the number of troops up to 300,000, 250,000 professional army and 50,000 territorial defence personnel.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.